Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David, how are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. And how are you, Bruce?
Well,
Honest.
not the happiest tonight, David. I hated that hockey game. I'll start there.
Okay. Why?
It was just so scrappy. There was no flow to it, and there was a few goals, and they were all ugly, like both ends. And it just seemed poor. Like the execution was poor, and the attention to detail very poor. And I was bummed because Draisaitl was out, which didn't do much for my frame of mind. Then I got a lot more bummed when McDavid left this game, and then things just went from bad to worse. Only one team was committing fouls, apparently, while Oilers were getting injured. It was the Oilers that were doing all the fouling. Explain that to me.
I did think Perry did take that penalty at the end of the game, but I wasn't completely sure that there wasn't some embellishment.
There was a lot of embellishment. I mean, you did get a stick in there, and then Oilers sold it hard, and with 2:30 to go in the tie game, NHL referees have a long history of looking the other way, but especially after they've given a two-man advantage to the same team earlier in that period. But no. Anyway, they didn't score then. If they scored then and Edmonton come away without a point, I would be beside myself now even more than I am. Like, at least the Oilers somehow took a point away from that game. They're going to need every point they can squeeze out of games at this point.
Yeah, it was a choppy game. The only thing that really got my blood boiling was Morrissey's cross-check, and we'll get to that. Bruce, two good things, two bad things, and two numbers. What is your good thing?
Yeah, I've got to go with Jeff Skinner, who opened the scoring for the Oilers on a good shot from distance that somehow beat the best goalie in the history of the universe, Connor Hellebuyck. And I mean, nice hard shot and fool's goalie. I mean, that's what you want to see. And then later on, he came back with another shot that, again, fooled Hellebuyck. This one, it was a mess of a goal. Like, it was a centering pass. And Skinner kind of shot, I think he shot the stick of the Winnipeg defenseman who was trying to intercept the pass. I'm not sure Skinner ever did touch the puck. And there was talk of changing the goal to McDavid, who had made the pass to him. But in fact, they didn't change the goal. It's still credited to Skinner as of now. And that one was a real slider that just slid slowly through Hellebuyck and into the net. Now, I will grant you that Hellebuyck had a little bit of disturbance in the force happening as that was going through him. But it wasn't exactly an overpowering shot. But hey, give Skinner credit for getting to the right spot and getting the shot away and, maybe catching a break finally. He hasn't had a whole lot of them, but now he's suddenly up to 13 goals on the season, and he's emerging as a clear favorite to play on Connor McDavid's line for the foreseeable. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Don't worry. Maybe they can call up Ryan Potulny from the minors, Bruce.
Yeah, right, that's about right. Yeah. He had in the end, Skinner 2 goals +2, 4 shots on net, 3 hits, and I thought engaged in the game. And I think he's playing well. This last few games is the best we've seen him.
I think they can maybe bring in Jared Smithson from retirement. Or locate Eric Belanger in the Belanger triangle.
Yeah, Smithson's wife must be out of labor by now. Jesus.
The decade of darkness.
Some of this stuff up, huh?
We lived through it, Bruce. Instead, we lived through the decade. We did game grades every game, and we did grade A shots and scoring chances every game. of the Decade of Darkness. We chose it, though. It was our choice, so we cannot complain.
Yeah, no, these are the good times, David. That's why we're having such a barrel of laughs now tonight.
These are the days.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that first shot that Skinner took on Hellebuck, if that had gone in on Stuart Skinner, the roof of Rogers Place would have been blown off by a great outpouring, a great vomiting of discontent.
Caved in right on the top of the net.
It would have been horrible. Man, there are some people on social media who go after Skinner on every single goal. They are on him. Wow.
Yeah.
But that was
go after Bouchard on every goal that goes in when he's on the ice.
Yeah. I caused
Nurse after every goal. Which tonight was all of the goals.
I caused a great disturbance in the force when I suggested that Darnell Nurse arguably is having the best season of the Oilers defenseman since Pronger. And it's arguable. Like I'm not saying for sure, but I think you could make an argument. And you know, we're a little bit sidetracked here, but I think one of the other really great years was 2016-17 by Andrei Sekera. And I remember that year, most people didn't recognize the year he was having, but he was just outstanding that year. And where Nurse has been strong is where he was actually weak tonight. Darnell Nurse has been really strong when it comes to not allowing the worst of scoring chances against and goals against. I think I might dig a little deeper into the numbers to see if that's true, but that's my hunch is he has been stingy when it comes to letting goals against this year. But not so tonight. Didn't have a good night at all. Bruce, my good thing is the Oilers come back in the third. I mean, they're down 3-2 to one of the best team in the Western Conference by points in the standings. At least they're up against the immortal Connor Hellebuck, as he's known in this podcast as the immortal Connor Hellebuck. And although Connor McDavid deflated him somewhat in the Four Nations tournament, and anyway, so they're down. And they're playing a good Jets team. They got a lead in the third period. McDavid's out, Draisaitl out, but they keep coming. And it's a great goal. It's a Californian, but it's still a really well executed play. Adam Henrique gets the puck in the offensive zone, makes a nice move with it, puts it over to Jake Wallman. Wallman puts it over to Nurse, who actually makes a really nice play. He gets the puck and he does a quick back up with his skates to get a better shooting angle, and is able to get it through past the Jets defender coming at him and on net. Hyman tips it, and then he gets the rebound and slams it home. So fantastic goal, makes it 3-3, and Bruce, it gets them into overtime and the loser point. They're only 1 point behind Vegas, although Vegas has 2 games in hand. So a big point for the Edmonton Oilers could in a month from now, when the season ends, we might be thinking that was huge. And so good for them coming back without the big guys. Your bad thing, Bruce.
Good for them for killing off the 2-men short situation for a minute, and good on them for killing off the penalty with 2.5 minutes to go in the third period. So, you know, there was some spirit in the face of adversity. I guess there was certainly plenty of adversity in this game, and they at least were able to come away with something. So I guess that's a good thing. Point beats the crap out of nothing. Yeah, I have a few bad things, but man, I guess I saw a really crucial part of this game being in the second period, right after Skinner scores to make it 2-1 for Edmonton. Winnipeg challenges and they actually lose the challenge, so Edmonton gets a power play. And for 2 minutes, they have a chance to really put the hammer down on Winnipeg. And for 2 minutes, they basically jack around doing nothing on the power play. No shots, no coordinated attacks. It didn't seem like. I think McDavid went wide and sort of looked dangerous a time or two, but nothing really came of it. and the passing and the execution was poor. And then the second unit came out, and that was even worse. They couldn't, complete a pass in the offensive zone. And the guy comes out of the penalty box for Winnipeg Niederreiter, I think it was. They had serving the penalty. And the play comes to the Winnipeg blue line, and Nurse is trying to make a play to keep it in at the line, and he can't. He can't get it by the guy that's checking him at the blue line. And there's no forwards anywhere close to covering for him. Like, either they didn't see him pinching or he made his decision at the last second. I have not studied the video of this play, but I did relook at the whole sequence and was just as disappointed the second time as the live view. Of, the whole 2 minutes, where here was their chance to sort of take it to the Jets, and there was just no spark. And then a crucial error, and then I saw it as a coverage error by the forwards. Henrique was probably the closest. Like, when Nurse's shot was blocked, it just lay there by the boards for about 2 seconds, and then the guy chipped it up. And no forward came to challenge the puck or the guy, or to try and sprint back to cover the inevitable 2-on-1 that ensued, of which there was probably 5 tonight against the Oilers, 2-on-1s.
There was a lot, Bruce.
There was 2-on-1 shift. It just was too easy.
Maybe
one
more
pass,
than
boom. Anyway, this was a 2-on-1 where Jets went in and finished the job, and a pass across to Morrissey, to villain of the piece tonight, and he chipped it in. That was actually, it was a decent play by Winnipeg. That was not from an execution point of view, not a poor goal. Most of them I thought were just ugly, bad rebounds or shots that just went through the goalie or what have you. But this was an earned goal from the Jets' perspective. Once they got the 2-on-1, they made it count. But Edmonton's, 2-minute power play, do nothing, and then immediately surrender an odd man rush and a goal as soon as the guy comes out of the box. And it's 2-2. And the goal you just scored is gone. The power play you had is gone. And the advantage you had in this game, gone. From 131 seconds of poor hockey.
I thought after losing the initial battle that Nurse had to hustle back himself a lot harder than he did. And you had suggested in our grade A scoring chance document that you also thought Henrique was at fault. So I went back and just looked at it just before we came on, and I agreed with you. Mm-hmm. Henrique initially comes back, but then he lets up. Yeah. And if he had not let up, there was a chance he could have got on the defenseman charging up the ice. So if he had one of those Hal Arbor, New York Islanders kind of back checks where he just gets on his horse and stays on it, riding it as hard as he can, he might have been able to make that play and covered up for Nurse's mistakes. But I really do think it was Darnell at both ends of the ice with a bad pinch, losing the battle, and then not getting back quickly enough to cover off the attack. Although every single goal, Bruce, every single goal, like Hyman's terrible back check on the first goal. Bouchard's really lame off defensive play in front of the net on the third goal, and then the overtime goal. I mean, Nurse turns it over in the offensive end. Bouchard's slow to cover. Yeah, he passes it away. Bouchard's slow to cover Connor a little bit, and Pickard probably should have had the shot. So there was just massive frustration on all the goals against. Honestly, it was many sequences of pain, Bruce. Many sequences of
breaking, and 3-on-3 overtime, dumping the puck in the corner is not a preferred action.
It happens. I remember a few games ago, Bouchard did it 2 or 3 times in a row, and everyone just lost their mind. And then he scored the winning goal with 6 seconds left. Yep. All right. My bad thing though are the two, one injury and one guy who had to leave the game because they thought he was injured. But maybe Josh Morrissey's cross check on McDavid was just a reaction. Like he's just a defenseman doing what defensemen do. Someone's going by you, so you give him a little shot. You don't mean to hurt the guy, but it sure comes off as a really dirty, sneaky cross-check play by Josh Morrissey on Connor McDavid. Is how it looks, knowing that McDavid gets hurt. We probably wouldn't even notice it. Like honestly, if he hadn't been hurt, we probably, like, guys are getting hacked and cross-checked and stuff all the time, especially McDavid. But it was a dirty, sneaky play. And my blood was boiling. I was just hoping some Oiler would take a run at Morrissey and hack him down or belt him down. It didn't happen. Maybe the Oilers hadn't watched the replay like we all the fans did, but that was a very frustrating moment. Already lost Draisaitl. McDavid goes out. Maybe Draisaitl has to rush back quicker than is good. We don't know if McDavid's going to be out. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. Maybe looks like he got smacked in the ribs. So we'll see. Bruce, it was just really, really frustrating to see that happen.
Yeah.
Then late in the game, no call. Yeah, no call either. Well, again, the ref might not even, like, it's happened so fast, he might not even really.
I get that. That just.
Yeah, no call though. You're right. And then Skinner, who is it? Iafallo goes crashing in, or Velarde goes crashing into that, one of those big Bobby Clark forwards. And Velarde goes crashing into the net, smashes his head into Skinner's helmet. Skinner goes back. Now maybe Skinner, I think he got a pretty good blow there. And might have been
hit right in the noggin. Yeah, hard.
Yeah, right in the noggin. And maybe he was embellishing a bit. Could be, right? Like, and good if he was, right? Like that would be a veteran move to embellish a bit. Go back to the net so you can, the plays should be called dead, and you're maybe there's a penalty on their team. I don't know. Should there have been a penalty or not? He did go in pretty hard on the goalie.
Stetcher pushed him in.
What do you think?
Made.
Yeah.
I was angrier, not so much at the lack of a penalty, but the fact that Skinner was laying on the ice for, it seemed like 10 seconds. It had to be at least 5. And I kind of count in double time when things are going bad, but it had to be at least 5 seconds that the goalie is laying on the ice in the goal net. And the puck is still in Edmonton territory, and they're battling for it along the boards. Blow the whistle. Holy man, look after your bloody goalies. Like, the rules are there to protect the goalies, and you got a guy laying on the ice after a headshot that later has him sent to the room for concussion protocol, and you're letting them play on for 5 or 10 seconds. And then a few minutes later, Nemestikov goes down the Winnipeg zone 100 feet from anywhere, and it's immediate, we got to blow the whistle to protect the Winnipeg forward. But meanwhile, Edmonton's goalie has to fend for himself, because maybe we think he sort of took a dive on the play and he's embellishing it while he's not getting up from the ice after getting hit in the head. Wake the hell up. That's for
yeah.
And I'm not saying it should have been a penalty, because there was a case that he got pushed in, but the contact was solid and the goalie went down. And when he stayed down, blow the whistle. Simple.
Yeah. They had no choice, probably within the confines of their concussion protocol, to not send him off.
Oh,
that's a tough moment, though, for Skinner.
Especially after they didn't, not only not call a penalty, but even blow the whistle that he was down legitimately. And then, but now you're hurt and you're going out of the game. Skinner was not happy. Yeah.
So then he's not back for the overtime, and Louis DeBrusk was saying they should just keep Calvin Pickard in net if indeed Skinner comes back, and I was agreeing with that. I think that was by then it would, enough time had passed, like just ride, see what happens with Pickard. He did make he had some action, not any actually grade A shots that we tracked anyway. The only one there was Connor Brown almost scoring with 7 left. I thought Connor Brown should have probably passed that one over to Henrique. There was one moment where he had a chance to do it. Anyway, they kept Pickard in, and then Pickard was kind of iffy on the winning goal, so that was a bit frustrating. It was because of the injury stuff, what turned into like a kind of a routine loss. Like, losses happen in the NHL, right? even for good teams, 20 to 30 times a year. But that added a kind of a bitter tinge to the night, especially McDavid getting injured. That just the Edmonton Oilers do not need. What's your number?
I got Max Jones' stat line from this game, and I don't think we're going to be seeing this player for much longer. I mentioned last few games ago that he had a -1 and a penalty in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Well, tonight he had a -1 and a penalty in 8 minutes and 21 seconds, so they kept him in there a little bit longer. He had no shots on net. And while he was out there, shot attempts were 1 for Edmonton, 9 for Winnipeg. Shots on goal were 0 to 4. As mentioned, goals were 0 to 1. Scoring chances were 0 to 5. And this guy just not really resembling an NHL player. He had a couple of games of good adrenaline right when he first started. His first game was excellent. I won't take that away. But I've not been too impressed with what we've seen since, and the trajectory is down, 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 and I think it might be down before much longer because, Derek Ryan could have done more with those minutes than Max Jones did today. He had one hit, one decent hit early in the game, and in fact, that is. Yeah, one hit, one giveaway.
Well, we suddenly see why he was waived earlier this year and no team picked him up. He did have a really hopeful start. We were excited about him. Lots of people were, and it's because he really played well, and he lended a physical element to the Oilers. Isn't this about the time that Trent Frederick is supposed to show up and start playing for the Oilers? It's 3 weeks, but I heard last week, I think Stauffer said it'd be 2 weeks. So
he still hasn't started skating, is all I keep hearing. High ankle sprain.
Well, there is time, and still for him to get in shape too. There's still a month left in the season. So, yeah, Bruce, my number is that related to that month left. I did the Google on the how long does it take to recover from a broken rib thing, and Google told me 6 weeks for the average person. Now Connor McDavid isn't an average person, but I don't know if I guess some people probably their bones and stuff would heal quicker than others, getting the best treatment, the best kind of therapies, the best, they're young, super healthy, that kind of thing. So maybe it won't, if it is a broken rib, maybe it won't be 6 weeks. Maybe it'll be 5 weeks or 4 weeks. It's a month until the playoffs start.
Yeah.
4 weeks. So hopefully it's not 6 weeks with what the normal person would think. Hopefully it's not a broken rib. Hopefully it's it's nothing. Maybe it's a bruised rib. Maybe it was precautionary. What I don't want to see is him coming back quickly and early and trying to, play through it. Just get healthy for the playoffs, as healthy as you can get, and come back flying. So, but that's a real downer and a real uncertainty now about the future. Maybe they're already saying he's okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's speculative, but I mean, it could be. It's one possible outcome from the visual evidence.
Yeah.
And one thing's for sure, as soon as Morrissey made contact with him, McDavid pulled up right away. It was clearly related to that shot with the stick. He pulled up right away. He went to the bench. The next thing you see, he's talking to TD Force, and the period ends, and the next thing you know, he's gone for the night. And it was clearly because he was flying in even on that rush, so it wasn't like there was something nagging that got to be too much. It happened right then and there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything on the internet right now on McDavid injury update. And I can find so far nothing. No. But so we're left wondering, Bruce, when's the next game?
Next game is Saturday night. And it's a late game at 8 o'clock. And who the heck do we play? It's Seattle. Seattle. And then they have 3 days off after that, which they sorely lead again. It's such a run of games, eh? Like even when they come home from a 4-6 road trip, it's like you have one day to travel, then you play on again, off again. There's no extra days, like so. Saturday could be less than a full complement of players. Let's put it that way.
A down night in oil country. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind
Bruce?
of bummed tonight. It was
Yeah,
it wasn't a fun game to watch. Just simple as that. But, even minus the bad stuff that happened, it was. I don't know. Maybe it was just my mood or something, but I just didn't enjoy the game. I just didn't think it had a lot of flow. I mean, it had goals, it had close score and everything. Went to overtime, so it wasn't like 6-1 yawner or something, but it did not live up to the billing.
No, I don't know if we gave the grade A shots. It was 11-5, 11-5 for the Oilers, 13-5 for the Jets. Bruce, let's leave it there. Thanks for talking tonight.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.